Alrighty, howdy everyone, my name is Ian, and I've gotten pretty tired with every Call of Duty YouTuber claiming that any class is broken with whatever attachments. Because that's not always the case, and they never explain why. In my opinion, all the guns in this game have unique attributes that make them fun, so with that, I've decided to lay out their statistics, give my own feedback, and recommend some attachments that I've found success with, so that you can decide for yourself if certain guns are worth using, and play the game your way. Remember, you have free will, don't let big Call of Duty YouTubers tell you otherwise. Alrighty, so starting with the first assault rifle you unlock when you buy the game, the M4 is labeled as the do-it-all, and I'd have to agree. It's solid up close and at medium range, has great mobility, solid damage, and manageable recoil that make it a good option for most scenarios, and plenty of attachments to unlock as you progress through the M4 platform tree. It's very versatile. So let's jump into the damage values. Really quickly before we get into the nitty gritty of this video, I want to mention that I got the idea for these videos from the YouTuber Drifter. I remember growing up watching his videos and learning about all the different mannerisms of each gun in Call of Duty, and thought to myself, that'd be a cool style of content I'd enjoy making, and years later, here we are. I still keep up with his channel, and he has decided not to do in-depth this year, and talked about passing the torch on. I hope I haven't misinterpreted what he's trying to say, but I thought it'd be a good time for me to give this style of video a try. Drifter, I just want to say I have immense respect for you, and I'm glad to hear your health's gotten better recently. All the best. Alright, so starting off, the 2022 Modern Warfare 2 M4 is a fully automatic rifle with a base magazine of 30. It's going to do 28 damage up close and 18 damage at a distance. Now what this means for you is that's going to be a 4 to 6 shot to kill weapon, which is about average for assault rifles and maybe even on the lower end. It's going to take 4 shots to kill until 25 meters, 5 to 45, and from beyond that, 6 shots to kill from 45 meters plus. Another point to make is that the time to kill with the M4 is incredibly average. It's not the fastest, being beat out by guns like the STB-556 and Gustav 7.62, but where it really shines is in the up to 25 meter range, where the TTK is higher than most ARs before its damage drop-off range really begins to hurt it. Something interesting to note about the M4 is that it's probably going to feel pretty consistent at all ranges, assuming you control its recoil, because with the M4 there are no body shot damage differences across all ranges, compared to most other assault rifles. This means that an arm or a leg shot at any range will do the same as a body shot. So with the M4, there isn't a huge need to aim for the body when you can just hit the limbs as well. I think that this is going to make this assault rifle pretty forgiving, especially for new players that might be struggling with aim. I'm referring to PC players mostly. Console friends, you have enough aim assist for this probably not to matter. Looking at the difference with headshots, the M4 has about a 1.4 headshot multiplier, meaning that up close, if you hit all your shots, the head can kill in up to 3 shots to 25 meters and 4 shots all the way out to 45 meters in my testing. So going for headshots with this weapon will always have a faster time to kill, but with its higher fire rate and damage, it is still quite forgiving. Something I need to add as well in this section is the muzzle velocity. The M4 has a muzzle velocity of 590 meters per second, just like every other assault rifle in the game. This isn't a big deal in multiplayer as much as it is in Warzone, but the only thing I have to mention, and this is something I did in my testing, is that if you spec the M4 to have the lowest muzzle velocity possible, it's going to feel quite sluggish. And with all the Modern Warfare 2 attachments having better tuning and negatives and positives, just be mindful of how much muzzle velocity you are losing, because if you do kit this the wrong way, it can feel like a sluggish SMG, and it's not going to be a good time in my opinion, but for most attachments the difference is negligible. Alright, so moving on to mobility, the M4 has an ADS time of 240 milliseconds, which is average for assault rifles. There's nothing special going on there. The only faster one is the Gustav 74U, but that one really shouldn't be considered an assault rifle anyway. The M4 has faster handling than many of the other meteor assault rifles, such as the Gustav 7.62 and 5.45. Sprint to fire time on M4, like other assault rifles, is going to be 210 milliseconds when tactical sprinting. It's also going to be 310 milliseconds. There isn't much worth noting here. Most assault rifles have the same sprint to fire speed, but the STB-556 is noticeably faster than all the other ARs. So if this is something important to you while playing the game, it might be worth dropping a like and subscribing so that when the video releases next week, you'll be the first to know about it. Anyway, forgive my shameless plug. Let's move on. With a reload time of 1.33 seconds, when the magazine still has at least one bullet left, the M4 has the second fastest reload speed out of all the assault rifles. The Gustav 7.62 for some reason has a 0.01 millisecond faster reload speed, so you're not getting a whole ton there, but this is something I feel is a strong point of the M4, combined with its good maneuverability, its good ADS time. This is going to be a much more mobile assault rifle. It allows for a much more aggressive playstyle because with a good TTK, mobility, and fast reload speed, the M4 is a stronger pick for those wanting a faster playstyle without sacrificing the range of an SMG. Most other assault rifles are on average a little under half a second slower with the reload speeds if they have one bullet left, but if your magazine is empty, it's going to be slower on all guns, but the M4 has a 1.8 second reload time, which isn't as much of a penalty as most other assault rifles, being about a full half second slower in the reload times. So this is where I think the M4 is going to really start to shine. It's going to be a close to mid-range assault rifle with good mobility, a faster reload. And something I do want to mention when we get into attachments is that with the faster rate of fire of the M4, I feel that it's important to have an extended mag on it if you're playing a little bit slower and aren't able to reload as much. Finally, bringing us to the last section of this video, we're going to be talking about the recoil on the M4. I feel that this is probably the gun's worst aspect. It wouldn't be fair to have a gun that plays so well in so many situations have the best recoil, but it's not bad. And I say that because for the most part it is controllable, but for whatever reason this gun feels like it has an insane amount of visual recoil, and it really isn't that big of a deal for people who know how to control it or kind of ignore it, if that makes any sense. The gun looks like it has a lot more recoil than it actually does, so for me when I try to kit this gun, I'm going after a build that maintains high mobility while also controlling some of that recoil, so it's a more pleasant experience. In my experience, the M4 can fit a lot of different playstyles. Something I'd recommend is if you're playing a little bit slower, maybe drop on a extended mag, because with the higher rate of fire, you burn through a lot more ammunition because you're also needing more bullets to kill. But if you're comfortable going for a more running gun style, the 30 round magazine should be fine with more mobility attachments. But let's get into what I prefer on my gun. Alright, so looking at the M4 class that I have set up here, you're going to see that I have increased the mobility, increased the recoil control as well, and the only thing we're really sacrificing is a little bit of range and a little bit of accuracy, which isn't a big deal to me, because the way I use this AR is a more up and close to medium range assault rifle. And the attachments I've found really useful are going to be the Tempest P80 Strike stock. What's nice about this stock is that it's in general the lightweight stock. It's not the best, but it does give you sprint speed, aim walking speed, and aim down sight speed. And what I really like about this is in this new Call of Duty, you cannot just run and gun, and it's not just all, reaction time. You need to be a little bit more intentional with what you're doing. So oftentimes what I do is I aim down sights, then peek a corner, and just having a more mobile stock is going to help out with that. To help out with the sprint to fire time and aim down sight speed as well, there are going to be the X10 grip. You could also go for the Seiken if you're having trouble controlling the recoil. And I just want to say that all these attachments that I'm using are the ones that I have unlocked right now. I'm sure that there's a million combinations you can do with the attachments, but these are the ones that I unlocked using just the M4 and ones that I have had success with. And then looking at the underbarrel, there's a couple options here, but the one that I found the best is going to be the recoil steadiness. I'm not sure exactly what the difference is with the recoil steadiness, recoil this, recoil that, but I think that recoil steadiness has a lot to do with the visual recoil, and having aim walking steadiness and recoil steadiness on the M4 is something I find super useful. Alternatively, a better grip might be the F-Tac Ripper. This one I use on a lot of other guns, and it has a lot more recoil stabilization. But with the M4 already having pretty decent recoil, just having a attachment to visually make it easier is what I find super helpful. And then looking at the barrel I use, we're going to be using the Tempest Trench Pro. This is just a lighter weight barrel, movement speed, aim down sight speed. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the video, the bullet velocity is going to lower a little bit, but this is the only attachment that I have, that subtracts from the bullet velocity. Finally, we have the Seiken Tread 40. This is going to help again with the recoil and make it a lot more manageable experience. I find this to be probably the best. All the silencers that I have unlocked so far do a pretty good job as well, but like I said, it's all personal preference. Alrighty, everyone. So with that, that is going to conclude today's in-depth episode. Again, I want to address the YouTuber Drifter. You've really inspired me, and I hope that I can do your series some amount of justice. This is my first time doing this kind of content, and I'm always wanting to improve myself for you guys. If there are stats I missed or testing you'd like to see, drop a comment down below to let me know. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks.
I've gotten 1 assist.